Ricky Nelson was born Eric Hilliard. Nelson on May 8, 1940, in Teaneck, New Jersey, into a family already deeply woven into American entertainment culture. As the son of Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, Ricky did not gradually enter show business. He grew up inside it. From early childhood, he appeared on the radio and later television series, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, a program that presented an idealized version of American family life and became a cultural cornerstone of the 1950s. Millions of viewers watched Ricky mature in real time, creating an unusually intimate bond between performer and audience. His natural charm, relaxed presence, and easy confidence made him a favorite long before he understood fame. Yet, growing up under constant observation also blurred the boundary between private life and public expectation, shaping a childhood unlike any other. From sitcom, Sun, to rock and roll. Star, unlike many child performers, Ricky Nelson successfully reinvented himself by embracing music at a moment when rock and roll was reshaping youth culture. In 1957, he recorded I'm Walkin', a cover of a Fats Domino hit, and the song quickly climbed the charts. That success launched a parallel career that soon rivaled his television fame. Over the next several years, Nelson delivered a remarkable string of hits, including Travelin' Man, Hello, Mary Lou, Poor Little Fool, and Lonesome Town. His smooth vocals and clean-cut image helped make rock music acceptable to mainstream audiences, especially parents watching alongside their children. By his early 20s, Nelson had sold millions of records and become one of the most successful male solo artists of his era. He was no longer just America's TV son. He was a defining voice of a generation. Reinvention and artistic integrity. As musical tastes shifted in the mid-1960s, Ricky Nelson faced a familiar challenge for early rock pioneers: adapt or fade into nostalgia. Rather than chase trends, he chose artistic growth, exploring folk and country rock influences that reflected his evolving sensibilities. This transformation led to the formation of the Stone Canyon Band, a group that helped shape the emerging country rock movement, later popularized by acts like the Eagles. While the transition initially confused some fans, Nelson remained committed to authenticity. That commitment was crystallized in 1972 with the release of Garden Party, a reflective song inspired by an audience that wanted only his old hits. Its message, "You can't please everyone, so you've got to please yourself," resonated deeply and became one of his most enduring works. It marked not just a comeback, but a declaration of independence. A parallel career in film and television. Alongside music, Ricky Nelson maintained a steady presence as an actor, building a film and television career that extended well beyond his family sitcom roots. His most acclaimed role came in 1959 when director Howard Hawks cast him in the Western classic Rio Bravo, starring alongside John Wayne and Dean Martin. Nelson's understated performance added youthful energy to the film and earned respect from critics and peers alike. Over the years, he appeared in a wide range of projects, from The Wackiest Ship in the Army to guest roles on popular television series, including The Streets of San Francisco, Petrocelli, and The Hardy Boys/Nancy Drew Mysteries. These appearances showcased his versatility and professionalism, proving he was more than a nostalgic figure. Acting remained a meaningful extension of his artistic identity rather than a fallback. Marriage, family, and private struggles. In 1963, Ricky Nelson married Kristen "Chris" Harmon, the daughter of football star Tom Harmon, and actress Elise Knox, in a highly publicized union that blended two prominent American families. Together, they had 4 children, including actress Tracy Nelson, and twin sons Gunnar and Matthew, who later found success as the band Nelson. Outwardly, the family appeared to embody stability and success, but behind the scenes, pressures mounted. Constant touring, creative ambition, and the challenges of balancing fame with domestic life strained the marriage. Over time, emotional distance grew, leading to separation and a difficult divorce finalized in 1982. Despite personal pain, Nelson remained deeply devoted to his children, maintaining close relationships and supporting their creative pursuits. The breakdown of the marriage left lasting emotional marks, influencing the reflective tone of his later music. A career rebuilt in the shadows of fame. By the early 1980s, Ricky Nelson was no longer chasing chart dominance, but he had not retreated from performing. Instead, he focused on live shows, smaller venues, and a loyal fan base that appreciated his artistry beyond nostalgia. Touring with his band, he continued to perform both classic hits and newer material, maintaining a steady presence in the music world. Though he was no longer a constant fixture on television or radio, his influence remained undeniable. Younger musicians cited him as a pioneer who bridged early rock and later country rock movements. Nelson's career at this stage reflected resilience rather than decline. He was still working, still evolving, and still committed to music as a craft rather than a commodity. Few could have predicted that this period of quiet stability would soon be interrupted by sudden tragedy. The night that changed everything. On December 31st, 1985, Ricky Nelson boarded a vintage Douglas DC-3 aircraft en route to a New Year's Eve performance in Dallas, Texas. The plane, carrying Nelson, his fiancée Helen Blair, and members of his band, departed under ordinary circumstances. Mid-flight, however, a fire broke out in the cabin. The aircraft crashed near DeKalb, Texas, killing everyone aboard except the two pilots, who managed to escape through the cockpit. News of Nelson's death shocked fans and fellow musicians alike. Almost immediately, questions arose. How could such a tragedy happen on what should have been a routine flight? Early reports cited a possible mechanical issue, but details were unclear. In the absence of definitive answers, speculation quickly filled the void, leaving grief intertwined with confusion. Rumours, reports, and lingering doubt. In the aftermath of the crash, conflicting narratives began circulating, fueled by incomplete information and media sensationalism. Some early rumours unfairly suggested personal misconduct or reckless behaviour, claims that deeply distressed Nelson's family. Official investigations, however, found no evidence of drugs or alcohol in his system. The National Transportation Safety Board concluded that the fire likely originated in the cabin, possibly linked to the aircraft's heating system, but stopped short of identifying an exact ignition source. This ambiguity allowed speculation to persist for decades, creating a cloud over Nelson's legacy. For his loved ones, the lack of clarity compounded the loss, as unanswered questions often do. The tragedy became one of those rare moments where official conclusions existed, yet emotional closure remained elusive, leaving the story unfinished in the public imagination. What later investigations revealed? Years later, aviation historians and investigative journalists revisited the case with fresh perspective and access to overlooked records. Their findings painted a clearer, though deeply troubling, picture. The aircraft was an aging World War II-era DC-3 that had reportedly experienced repeated heater issues on prior flights. Maintenance records and witness accounts suggested that these problems were known but inadequately addressed. The heater, located beneath the cabin floor near flammable materials, had been modified in ways that did not meet safety standards. When it malfunctioned mid-flight, smoke and toxic fumes rapidly filled the cabin. Without proper fire suppression equipment, passengers had little chance to escape. Experts later concluded that smoke inhalation likely incapacitated those aboard before impact. The tragedy, it appeared, was not mysterious, but preventable. A legacy tempered by truth. The final understanding of Ricky Nelson's death offers resolution, but not comfort. It reveals a loss rooted not in fate or personal failure, but in negligence and systemic oversight. For fans, the truth reshapes the tragedy into a cautionary tale about safety and accountability. Ricky Nelson's life, however, should not be defined by its ending. He was a rare figure who successfully evolved across decades, shaping American music and television in lasting ways. His influence lives on through his recordings, his children's careers, and the artists he inspired. While the mystery surrounding his death has finally been clarified, it underscores a painful reality. Answers do not always heal. Sometimes, they simply deepen our understanding of what was lost. Ricky Nelson remains remembered not for how he died, but for how profoundly he lived